Hey everybody, it is Carla with Carla's Clever Crafts. We've got two big things going on tonight in this live video. First, we're going to be making a wreath with this beautiful cross for Christmas. Has the He is Risen banner and the crown of thorns on it. I'm going to show you how to make a beautiful design with that. And then, of course, we're going to be doing the drawing tonight to see who is the winner of my very first ever giveaway. It will be this wreath sitting behind me. So I'm going to give time for people to jump on who may want to actually see the drawing before I do it. So while we're waiting and giving people an opportunity to come in and join us, I'll go ahead and start going over the project for tonight. But don't worry, I'm not going to wait clear to the end to do the drawing. I know everybody's pretty excited. So I'm going to do that in a little bit. I just want to give people time to join in with us so that more people have an opportunity to see it done live. Okay, so I'm going to turn my camera down. Let's see if I got a good angle, and I'm going to try to get my comments up here on my computer. I will be doing the drawing on my computer when the time comes. There's a site that I can use that lets me do shuffle the names and then do a random drawing so that everybody can see that. Okay, here we go. Okay, so this is what I've done to get us started. Went ahead and started on the base, finished it most of the way around with the first layer of deco mesh and the first layer of ribbons. This was just to kind of help us speed along tonight. Real quick, I will go over how the frame is wired for anybody who wants to try this project for themselves. This one here I wired previously. We have 6 ties in the middle, and then we have 12 ties going around the outside. And to determine where to place those, there's 6 sections in the wreath form. So you just, in between where the crossbars are is considered one section. Come to the 2 inside rings in the middle of that section and place your first pipe cleaner. Then you'll go to your outside 2 rings, and halfway between the middle pipe cleaner and the crossbar you'll place another one, and then do the same thing on the other side. You do that all the way around. It gives you 6 in the middle and 12 on the outside. Okay, if anybody has any questions on that, since I covered it pretty quickly, just leave me a comment or send me a message and I'll get back to you. Oh, I don't know what happened. All right, well, I'll try to get that back to my comments so that I can see who's on and how many people we have. I clicked on it and thought I had the right thing, but then it went to a different screen, so let's try again. Okay. All right, looks like we have 2 people watching so far, so I'm going to wait a little bit longer, give more people an opportunity. 6:30 is a little bit early in the evening for some people, so they may still be busy with dinner plans and things like that. If you are on here, go ahead and leave me a comment and say hi so that I know who is on and watching with us. And then on this wreath, we're going to do the cruffle method on the bottom layer. And I have done the entire bottom row except for these last 2 so that I can show you how I do those and how I place them on the bottom layer of mesh. So we'll go ahead and do that now. Okay, maybe make myself a little bit more space. Okay, so to do my cruffles, I just roll out my mesh. These mesh pieces are pre-cut, and I cut them to 16 to 17 inches long. And then you just fold over the first edge, and then I roll it 2, 3, 4. Just gives me a nice little curl. Then I put a clip. You could use clothespin, any kind of clip that you have, just something to hold your curl together. Turn it around and do the same thing on the other end. 1, 2, 3, 4. I need to angle the camera just a little more, I think. Okay, let's see if that's better. And then turn your over so your curls are face down, and then scrunch down the middle. pinch your two sides together in the middle and take off your clip, and you have what looks like a bow. Now to place the bottom layer of mesh, the way that I do it on this particular design is I put the finished edge to the inside of the wreath and the finished edge to the outside of the wreath. I'm just going to place it in the pipe cleaner in that position. And then you do want to tighten this down pretty good, pull pretty tight, and then give a couple twists. Okay, and then we'll leave that pipe cleaner there because we're going to come back and put some ribbon tails in there. Okay, so we've got one more to do here. Make sure I fix the mesh so that it lays correctly. And it looks like we have 3 now. Hi, Aunt Peg. 2, 3, 4. Put our clip on. We've got our first nice curl. Turn the clip away from us. Do the same thing on the other end. 2, 3, 4. And then put both curls down. You now have this, so put it so both curls are down. And scrunch up the middle. Pinch the two sides together and take off your clip. Okay. Now when we put this piece in, we're going to make sure that the piece to the right, we pull it out over top of the piece we're placing in now. That way we keep our pattern consistent and all of our mesh laying the same way. Pull it real tight and just give it a couple twists. And then that's what it looks like when you have your first layer of mesh in. Now this mesh that I purchased came from Craft Outlet. So if you wanted to make this design, you would be able to get that mesh there. Next, I will talk a little bit about the ribbon tails. If you're on watching me, please comment. Hi, honey. Hi, Carrie. Thank you guys for watching and joining. I'm waiting just a little while to do the drawing in case other people want to join and actually see it done live. We had a total of 54 entries. Okay, so the first ribbon that I'm using is this really pretty purple with white crosses and gold lettering. It says "He is risen." That came from Craft Outlet as well. So did this next ribbon. I chose to use this, it has like a natural color background with palm leaves. And of course I chose that to go with this theme because it represents Palm Sunday. And then to pair up with those, I have this 1.5 inch wired gold shimmery ribbon. That I got at Sam's, but I'm sure Craft Outlet, the other craft stores, will have something similar. And then I'm using this light beige 1.5 inch wired ribbon that has it's like a floral print on it. I'm not sure if you can see that in the camera. This came from Sam's and it is part of their spring collection, so they probably have that available now if anybody wanted to get that. Okay, so on the bottom, I am using all 12-inch pieces tonight on this design, so all of the ribbons are cut to 12 inches. We're also going to use these cute little moss-covered bunnies on our project. And then we also have some palm leaves and some dogwood flowers to kind of tie our theme in all together to represent what Easter is really about. Okay, so we'll start. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 more sets of ribbon tails to add in. I've matched up the gold 1.5 inch with the purple, He is risen. And then I matched up the beige, it's lost under there, the beige floral ribbon with the palm leaves. Okay, so we'll start with, we did the purple last, so we need to do the palm leaves next. And then when I place these in, I've talked in my previous videos how I don't like when the ribbon covers each other up. And so I tried tonight placing one in at a time, so that's the way that I'm going to do it. I'm first going to place in the beige. I'm not sure this is making much of a difference, but I thought I would experiment with it if I could maybe position them to get them to show better when I use all 12 inch. So then we put that one in, and then we just do the same thing with the palm leaves. Find the middle, scrunch down, V that back towards us, and then we're just going to put it in the same pipe cleaner right over top of that beige, but trying to position it so that all of our ribbons show. Okay, and then we're done with those, so we can go ahead and clip off the pipe cleaner, push the end under and give it a squeeze. Okay. Now this is covered up. There we go. I'm going to go ahead, even though I put these ribbons on before we started, I didn't clip off the pipe cleaner, so I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. And I'm adding the cute little bunnies, even though this is a religious Easter wreath, though it also, you know, reminds us of springtime. So it's a, you know, a spring design and Easter. Same with the flowers and the green palm leaves. Gives us a feel of spring to our wreath. And I'm just cutting those off, leaving a small piece to push down inside. And then I give it a good squeeze so that it secures my ribbon. Okay. All right, so now that we did the palm leaves, our next pipe cleaner will be the gold and the He is Risen. Move my front back just a little. Okay, we're going to do the same thing, lay it out flat, find our middle, scrunch down the middle, and V it back towards us. Place it in. Doing this one at a time, I'm not really sure that it's made much of a difference. I think we're still going to lose some of our ribbon in the overlapping, but that's okay. It'll still be beautiful. Better to have too much than not enough, I guess. Okay, and then we'll do the purple same way and just place it right in over top of the gold. Remember, we always put the ribbons that we want to be prominent on top. So that is why I'm doing the palm leaves and He is Risen on top. Just give it a few good twists. Clip off the excess and then push it down in and squeeze. And then I always fluff my ribbon tails as I go. Some people do them at the end. I like to just do it as I go. Okay, now we've done the purple. We're going to go back to the palm leaves and the beige. Looks like we might only have 2 people for the drawing tonight. That's okay. I will announce the winner on the page, so if whoever doesn't win isn't on here, that's certainly not a requirement that you be on the live video when I announce. Okay. And we're going to do the green. Same thing again. Make sure that when we're V'ing it back, we're getting it even in the middle. Absolutely starving. I got an email today from Uber Eats that I've never used before that said you get a $30 meal on us. I thought, well, this is probably a scam, but I clicked on it anyway and signed up for Uber Eats, and so we now have Bob Evans on the way, and our meal was free. We paid $3.88 for the tax, and then of course we tipped the driver. So the whole meal is going to cost us about $9. Pretty excited about it. Okay, and on our last set on the bottom, we're going to be doing the gold and the purple. And this gold that I'm using is a little bit sheer, but it gives a nice contrast, a nice shine in between all of the other, and it pulls, you know, it matches with the gold in the purple ribbon. Okay, last ribbon for the bottom. Trying to make sure all my colors are showing. Okay, and that's our last one. So our bottom layer is done. And this is what it looks like with your bottom layer all the way around. We've done one row of mesh and then one row of the ribbons all the way around. The next step we're going to do is to take we're going to do another row of mesh, our second layer of mesh, and we're going to use these pipe cleaners that are on the inside rings, the ones that I told you, the 6 that we put on the inside 2 rings, but we're going to pull those pipe cleaners to the outside. So we're going to reach in between the 2 pieces of mesh and just pull those out, just like that. Do that all the way around. That way when you get your cruffle made, your pipe cleaner's already there and waiting for you. Oops. Almost pulled that one through the wrong 2 pieces of mesh. Okay, so I have all 6 out now. So we're going to be doing 6 more cruffles, and I'm just sticking with the same mesh. Sometimes I do change it up, but I feel like this looks really good with the wooden cross, so I'm going to stick with this same mesh. Fold it over, and then 2, 3, 4. Put your clip on it. I think I need a bigger table. Do it again on the other end. 2, 4. Okay. Scrunch down the middle. Pinch the 2 ends together and take your clip off. Now this time we're going to place the mesh in the pipe cleaner the opposite direction. So instead of this way, we're going to turn it so that it looks like we're putting a bow on our wreath. We're going to put the finished edges to the right and to the left, and then just twist that pipe cleaner right around the middle of our bow. Now when you do this part, unlike the bottom layer, don't pull real tight because you will lose your mesh down inside the rest of your design, and you don't want that. You want it to show. So we're just going to repeat that same process 6 times, 5 more. To watch on my computer and make sure you guys can see. 3, 4. Okay, scrunch it. When you're scrunching, do little sections at a time so you get the ruffled effect. Place it in our next one. And then I like to just kind of line them up so their edges are touching. I moved my computer today thinking it would give me more space on the table, but it doesn't look like it worked out for me. I'll have to reposition, I have to refigure this. Okay. Well, this process does go pretty quick. We've got 3 more. This cross is, this wreath is actually my favorite wreath of all the wreaths that I do. I'm really partial to the wooden cross. And pretty much any design that I do it with, I love. I usually do several different designs using the cross. And it's also a pretty popular seller too, which I like. Not sure if I mentioned, but the wooden cross came from Hobby Lobby. Its original price is $9.99. But if you've shopped at Hobby Lobby, you know never pay their full price before the holiday season. Usually long before that holiday, they will put their items on sale 40% off. So you can get that cross for $6. And then the little bunnies that I showed you that we're using also came from Hobby Lobby. Their regular price is $2.99. So I think I paid $1 something for each of those. Okay, this is our last piece of mesh. Okay, so this is what we have now with the top layer of mesh. You can still see the bottom layer. You see those ribbon tails sticking out nicely in between our top layer mesh. It's getting full and very pretty. The overall size of this wreath is 24 inches wide and 5 to 6 inches deep. Now we are going to go ahead and layer on our top ribbons. And we're going to use my tried and true X pattern. I just lay my ribbons down, crisscross them with the one I want to be prominent on top, and then just scrunch in the middle, pinch it together so that you have an X. Place it straight into the pipe cleaner. Give it a couple good twists. We're not going to put anything else on these pipe cleaners, so I'm going to go ahead and cut that off. Fluff out our ribbons so that they lay where and how we want them. I usually curl my ends so that it kind of gives the appearance of wrapping around the mesh underneath of it. Like that. Okay, now that we did the purple, we're back to the green palm leaf. Just making an X, scrunching up the middle, pinching it together so that it gives me an X shape. And repeat the same process all the way around 6 times. Alternating your pattern. Okay. Now we're back to the gold and the purple. If you want to try this design in the future or try this for yourself, you can always share the video and it will save to your timeline. And then after you get your supplies together, you can come back and actually complete the process with me, with the video. I did that a lot when I was first learning. If you're ever having trouble finding supplies, just comment below, either on Facebook or YouTube, whichever you're watching, or shoot me a message, and I will definitely try to assist you. So we're back to the palm leaf. Me a little bit. Fluff our ribbon tails out. So I'm pretty excited about the drawing. I'm thinking of maybe doing some more in the future. Everybody leave me a comment, whether you're watching live or on replay. Leave me a comment if you would like to see some future giveaways. This one and one more to place in, and we'll be done with that part. It's already looking so pretty. These are our last two ribbons. And I think after I do this ribbon, I may go ahead and grab my camera down and show you guys the computer screen and do the drawing. And then after the drawing, I will attach the cross and add the flowers and the bunnies and the palm leaves. Thank you, love. I don't know how you're supporting me when you're transporting grandkids. Hope you're not driving on Facebook Live. So that is what it looks like with all of our ribbon tails. Okay, so I'm going to reach up here and pull my phone down. Rotate your phone. Oh, sorry. Okay. Go over here. Brian, can you see? Are you on live, honey? No. Okay, let me know if you can see the wheel once it loads. Can you see it? Brian.
Okay, go any closer.
Now?
Remember versus the left.
Oh, yeah.
Go in a little bit closer.
Oh my goodness, I don't know if I can hold it that close. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and hit shuffle. Shuffle up all the names. Can you see it?
Yeah, you want to get real close to it. I can't see it.
Okay, well give me just a second because my Norton popped up.
Maybe this is
Can you see it? Yeah. I mean, it really doesn't. I need you to tell me. Oh. I'm going to hold it there in the middle. Okay, you guys, I'm going to pray that you can see. I'm going to go ahead and click the wheel to spin. And there it goes. And the winner is Marley Mar. Congratulations, Marley. Reach out to me and we will get information on how we can get your prize to you. Congratulations. Oh, we're gonna have to figure a better way to do those drawings. That didn't work as good as I had hoped. So we'll work on that. I like the computer though, because I can shuffle it so that everybody can see it's random, and then I can do the spin, and then there's no question because it randomly draws it and there's no way to set it up. So that's the reason I wanted to do it that way, as opposed to the old names in a hat. Okay, to attach this cross to my wreath frame, tonight I'm going to use these ginormous pipe cleaners. I do not know how long they are, so let me measure. It is 15 inches long. And I'm using this big one because I'm going to actually, let's turn you back down so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to take it and I'm going to feed it through underneath the crown, wrap it around, and then I'm going to attach to the side, the inside wire on the frame. So we're going to find how I want to lay it. Probably like this, and move some of the mesh out of the way. Now I'm going to pull this down to that wire. And this part is difficult. I'm not even going to pretend that it's not. The hardest part of making this whole wreath is attaching this cross. If anybody has suggestions or ideas of a better or another way to do it, please let me know. I don't like to drill holes in the items I place on my wreaths, because once you are finished with the wreath, you can always remove the cross and keep that and use that still in the future. In fact, it has a hanger, a metal hanger on the back of it, so you could even hang that on the wall by itself. Okay, so now I'm going to kind of move my ribbon tails around so they're not covering up the cross. Okay. And now I've attached to one side, but I don't want to just leave it like that because it's going to make it lay crooked. So I'm going to take a second pipe cleaner, same size, and I am going to go the opposite direction. So I'm still going under this crown, but I'm bringing my open end of my zip tie to the opposite side so I can attach to the opposite side of the frame. I hope that makes sense. If not, and anybody has questions, reach out to me or comment. Let me see if I can get back over to my comments just in case. I forgot to switch. Okay. And then bear with me while I try to get this to attach. And doing this is going to pull your cross down inside pretty good, but because of its size it will still be fairly prominent. You will still be able to see it. And then I'm just going to take and adjust it and decide if I want to push some of the mesh under or pull it out, if I need to move my ribbons. I'm okay with the ribbon laying across the bottom of it a little bit. I just don't want it to hide what it is. I don't want to cover it up too much. Okay, so when we attach it like that, this is what it looks like. Okay, now we are going to come in, when we attach our bunnies, we're going to put them kind of right here in the mesh on either side of the cross. But I'm going to do that probably last, and that'll fill in some of this beige mesh that doesn't have ribbon tails. You can also adjust your ribbons, move them up to cover up over some of the mesh. If you think too much mesh is showing on the inside, you can always readjust. Okay, I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some leaves. These came from Amazon. They are artificial palm leaves, 6 inches by 4.5 inches. And they're pretty thin, but they're a good size, so they display nicely. And where I'm going to place these is in between. We have these 6 ribbons, 6 sets of ribbons on the top. So I'm actually going to place these in between 2 of the top pieces of mesh. I'm just going to slide it in there like that and let it just poke out a little bit. And I'm going to do that with glue. First, if I didn't lose them, I'm going to put on my fingertip protectors. I always burn myself doing this. Worse than doing other things. Okay, so I'm just going to use my glue gun, put just a little bit. This is very thin material. We don't need a whole lot. And then I'm going to raise this up and just place it in there. And using my fingers that have the protectors, I'm just going to push it down in there so that it will attach. So that glue can grab a hold of the material underneath. And then this is what that will look like. And then I'm going to do that all the way around. Making sure I have the right side up because the underside is lighter than the top side. So again, I'm going to just go in here, pick up the mesh, place it about where I want it to be, and push it down with my finger protectors. Dollar Tree sells these. You get 3 or 4 in a pack, and they're a lifesaver if you remember to use them, something I rarely do. Okay, so now we have our second one. Go ahead and come around. And be sure, to adjust your mesh back down and stuff after you've pulled that up, and rearrange your ribbons if you need to, where you've moved it around. Okay, we've got our next sleeve. These are real thin, so make sure when you're grabbing it, you only get one. It is easy to pick up 2 of them. Okay, so this one will go right here in between these. Oops. And the good thing about hot glue is if you get it stuck somewhere where you didn't intend for it to stick, you have a little bit of time to move it around before it starts to set up. Okay. And there is our third leaf. And I think because we're going in between 6 of these, I think it ends up giving us 6. And I'm just using a very light amount of glue. These are so thin, it doesn't take much to hold it. Press it down, fix my mesh back, go to the next one. I like this wreath design because it represents the entirety of the Easter season, from Good Friday all the way through Palm Sunday. The fact that he rose from the grave and that he died for our sins, the crown of thorns that he wore, and then the dogwood flowers. I'm sure most of you know the dogwood flowers themselves represent a large part of the story. The nails in his hands when he was hung on the cross. The wood of the dogwood tree was used, I just burnt myself, was used to make the cross, I believe. There's a lot of features about the dogwood that goes with the Easter story. Hey honey, is the camera down good enough now, or point it down more? Oh, okay. I just now seen your comment. Okay, so that's it. We're back to the beginning where we started, so we don't need any more of the palm leaves. Now I'm going to grab the flowers over here. And I have a whole bunch of them here. I bought these, I think I got these on eBay last year. However, I just placed an order with Hobby Lobby, and they have, it's not quite as big as this, it's probably like maybe like that much, but I only paid $1.49 for that many dogwood flowers. So that's the cheapest I've ever seen them, and I ordered me several. Okay, so I'm just going to pull the ends of these. There's like 2 in a bunch. Well, maybe I'm going to pull it. Maybe I'm going to cut it. Okay, we'll just use the wire cutters because I don't want to tear up my flowers. There we go. And I'm going to place them 2 at a time. I'm not going to use the greenery, so I'm just going to take that away. And I'm going to place them in 2 at a time right in between where each of my ribbon sections on the top are. So I'm going to put I'm going to hold it where I'm gluing it in case the glue runs over. Put a little bit of glue on that stem. And then I'm just going to place it right down in there. Try to position the flowers the way I want them to lay. Oh, that glue was too hot. Okay. And that's an important thing. The plastic on these flowers will melt, which just happened to me, so be careful. And make sure your glue's not too hot. Okay. I think that's good. That looks cute. We've got one going up and one facing out. So I'm going to cut off 2 more. Do the same thing and between our next set of ribbon. I'm going to put my glue just at the bottom, and then I'm going to put it down there in my pipe, on my pipe cleaner. And I still have my finger protectors on, so I can reach down in there and just help it grab where I want it to. Now we have those in, so I'm going to grab me another set of them. And I'm just using little jewelry wire clips. It actually came out of a jewelry repair kit, and that's what I'm using to attach or to clip them off. You could use any kind of wire cutters though. Okay. Now I'm going to put my glue down in there again, and then just right on the very end of this where the plastic's a little thicker. That seemed to work better. And then I'm going to use my little finger protector and just reach in there and make sure I got a good connection. Getting close to done. If anybody is watching that hasn't already commented and said hello, please comment and let me know you're there. If you watch this on replay later or on YouTube, just put a comment down and let me know that you watched it. Give me any suggestions or feedback or questions that you might have. Trying to separate these leaves here to clip this off. Now that one only has 1 flower on it. Now this little stem only had 1 flower, but that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and stick it in here, secure it about where I want it, and then I had a loose flower laying back here that had popped off, maybe right off of that piece. So I'm just going to put a little glue right on the back of it and stick it on there beside it where I want it. Alright, we got 1 more set of flowers that we need. So I'm just squeezing the glue right in the middle where that pipe cleaner is that we clipped off. Okay. Okay. That looks okay. Now I'm going to take those off for a second. And then this is what it looks like with all of our dogwood flowers added and our palm leaves. Nice springy look. Okay, and so the only thing left to do is we're going to put these two bunnies on here. Now for them, I'm going to face them in opposite directions so that it looks like they're kind of looking at each other on here. Readjust my ribbon so that I can place the bunnies the way that I want. I usually just play around with it, position them on there until I like the way it looks, and then I will apply the glue and attach them. Now on this part, I'm only gluing these on, I'm not wiring them on, so I'm going to use a liberal amount of glue, and then I'm going to hold that until it starts to set up. And I'm actually putting glue all over his side, and I'm going to put a little bit along the bottom. So, lots of glue. And I'm going to push him down and hold him, and I'm going to reach up underneath and push the mesh from the bottom to help it adhere. And my glue wasn't very hot, so I didn't get burnt, even though I didn't have my finger protectors on. Okay, and now he's in there pretty good. Not completely dry yet, but he's in there good. And then I think I'm going to set that one in that way, kind of inside of that curl. So turn it over, lots of glue. We're done with the glue gun, so switch it off. Working down in there where I want him to sit. So you can look over here at his pal. Oh, I got the glue on my hand. Just push it down. I'm going to put on my finger protectors and then do the same thing. Push the mesh from the bottom. Glue's a little hotter on this side because I turned my glue gun back on, so I want to not get burned again. And okay, there those guys are. And this is what the finished wreath looks like. Leave me a comment, tell me what you think, if you like it, if you have suggestions for changing up the design. I got a little bit of glue on the rabbit here. One tip, if that happens, if you do that, don't try to pull it off right away because you'll just end up making a mess and having glue everywhere. Wait till it hardens really good and then pull it off and it'll just pop right off with no problem at all. So I'm just going to leave it alone and let it dry and then I'll come back. Okay, all right. So I think that's about it. Congratulations again to Marley. And if you guys would please like and share this video, I would greatly appreciate it. And then also, if you're watching this now or later, hey Shauna, let me know if you would like to see giveaways in the future. That was something I really enjoyed doing, and I'm giving some thought to doing some future ones. I would like a little bit of feedback. So thank you guys very much, and you have a wonderful evening. And tomorrow, go 49ers.